Alright, so this discussion is about Donnie Yen versus Scott Adkins. In a fight, whether it be movie fights or real life fights, who do you think will win? For me, it's kind of a hard choice for me because Donnie Yen is cold, especially with him getting taught by the actual person, not Ip Man itself, but Ip Man's son. So he got that skill level to add to his arsenal already. But Scott Adkins is a beast too. He cannot be overlooked as far as like with his skills, the stuff he can do. He can't be just beat by a regular person. Put it that way. So when you're looking at Scott Adkins, we're gonna start off with him. When you're looking at him, just like Undisputed, all the Undisputeds that he was in, he always had them cold moves. He was showing you like he can go ahead and do like the stand-up fights. He can hit a little bit of the ground fights too, but I think his stand-up game is way more solid and more colder than his ground game would be.
Yeah. Aerial assault. Scott Adkins is a ninja. His best moves come from unsuspected aerial attacks. Spinning too many times or just adjusting position. He might just do an aerial cartwheel just to get out the way of something and not even attack. The fact if you get too close, he can kick out of that shit. He a monster. Them aerial assaults with just combinations of just knowing what punch come next. Like they said in that, what is it, Undisputed? Like they said in that, the most complete fighter in the world. When you look at everything he displayed in that whole series, his ground game, he got a little ground game. I ain't gonna say it's Donnie Yen, but he got some ground game. You see, when he called dude, put him in that, flipped him back, still jumped up. He got some ground game. He more like a ninja type dude. Like, ain't nobody messing with Scott Adkins when it come to most complete. A little bit of everything involved in it. It's different when it comes to Donnie Yen because that MMA shit, and that's really the biggest thing with him to separate him from a lot of these dudes to me. That mixture of new school way of fighting, still with back in the day what you learned. Nobody is translating from that one to this one and merging them both like Donnie Yen is. Donnie Yen is fighting up to date on nigga. Like, this is what niggas will do to you in the fight. Catch your leg, throw you around, spin you around, tackle you, and I could put you in hella submissions. He be showing you hella submissions through all these type of positions. I'll bum rush you trying to scrap. You want to try to hog me and fight me like that? I can kickbox, martial arts, all that. When it comes to mixing both of them together, Donnie Yen is the truth right now.
Yeah, Donnie Yen, he's cold.
Nobody mixing new school with old school with the new school the way Donnie Yen is right now.
Yeah, Donnie Yen, he got the style where, as far as his movies go, like I said, he has a certain twist to his shit, and he had like a little comedy thing where he'll be beating you up like with them punches, fake that one punch when he have his arm swinging and hit you again with that, and then coming out with that type of stuff. I mean, like I said, when he first started off, he was kind of like doing a Bruce Lee imitation, like all the other people kind of was, but he wasn't trying to do it like actually be Bruce Lee. He was just doing the imitations just because that's basically like his idol when he was, coming up like everybody else. They always be like, yeah, that's somebody who basically gave me my whole motivation was Bruce. So, what I'm saying, when him coming out of that, but then, like I said, actually learning the Wing Chun from Ip Man's son, that just made him an even colder fighter, like in real life. So, him
with fast hands. Then you got to think about the work regime. Like, what do they work on for their skill to maintain being able to do this as good as they do? What are they doing? Like, when you look at that movie, Ip Man, and you see, I don't even know what you call that thing, when they work on that thing, all body, and it's like to make your combos, some elbows, the punches be on accurate point.
The wooden dummy.
Donnie Yen is one of the best at that. Now, I'm not saying my opinion means the most. Everybody got a different opinion. But I'm telling you what I think right now, that is one of the best skills you can have in martial arts, like, period. If you can perfect that, see, people probably won't agree. They might think something else is. But I personally think mastering that, like, when you up close on people, like, just mastering that, and it's so second nature to them, that's crucial. The fact that he one of the best at that is crucial when he fighting people. Like, they just don't understand. That's dangerous. And don't get me wrong, I seen Tony Jaa on that too. But when I looked at his combos on it, the shit he might do, but then again, I can't really say. Because Tony Jaa is vital too, like with the pressure points and where he hit you and all of that. But just looking at it, it didn't look as impressive more than Donnie Hens. But with Tony Jaa, you never know where the fuck he's actually hitting you at, like, period.
Well, Tony, his is, like I said, with his Muay Thai, his stuff is, I mean, he, like I said, you got to bring him into the equation because he's a cold one too. You know what I'm saying? He got some hard, like I said, he makes his stuff look hard. Everything he does, when he was doing, like, I think it was Onbak 2, when he was doing the different styles and all that, it didn't look like how, when he did his Drunken Master, it looked like Jackie Chan's Drunken Master. Jackie Chan's looked good.
He mixed it with Muay Thai.
But he made that shit look hard. Like, if you actually see Drunken Master done, Jackie Chan versus Tony Jaa's, you would think like Jackie Chan's, it looks good, but Tony Jaa's like it hurts your
up to date. Yeah, that's what I mean too. Like Jackie Chan's is more, the skill is to 100% level the best it can be. Tony Jaa's was more like, I'm gonna fuck you up too with it, like those type of moves through it. Like that's kind of a little bit what I was talking about earlier, but yeah. Tony Jaa got some different styles, but you got to watch out for the vitals where he hitting you at. But I feel like that dummy technique, the way Donnie Hen is with that, that ain't even his everything. But though, just that alone, how good he is on that, like.
Well, see, with the wooden dummy, it's basically it's basically like if you have a partner, but you don't have a partner. So everything that you doing on there is basically like if somebody swings or something, this is how you're gonna block. That's how you're gonna attack. It is basically kind of like getting your, what they call your reflexes to just do that. So that's the reason why they have the wooden dummy. Even Bruce Lee was on that doing
Think about what other fighter ever specialized in that we seen. I mean, you could probably say Bruce Lee all the time, but besides Bruce Lee, what fighter was on the wooden dummy you could say was a beast, that was a beast with the MMA grappling shit? Like, when we get locked up and all of that, like I will slam you, throw you, toss you, I'll even knee you, I elbow you, I'll do all that shit like MMA fighters do. And I'll get around you, I'll slam you from that, I'll get you on the ground, just do other shit, like period. I'll get on top of you, bam on your shit. That MMA fighting style, mastered like that, like mastered on some Kung Fu level, not what real MMA today do, but mastered on a Kung Fu level, like that style. With that dummy style, like, whoo. Yeah, that boy is a bad boy. And I ain't even put his legs involved in it yet.
Right.
That's just mastering that dummy style, like, bap. That, with that MMA style, the way he be doing it, like, just straight fighting, like, period. Them legs, look, I don't even know what to say. Them legs, and they ain't even thought about the legs, because he quick with that, but
yeah,
the fist. That dummy style with how fast he showed you with hands, like how fast he showed you that dummy style, what he would just do so quick, like how he would do it, doing that type of shit. Then MMA, just I'll fight, it's so aggressive fighting, like nigga, I'll fight, you feel like you're in a fight, but I know exactly what I'm doing. Like I ain't never seen nobody besides Donnie Hen do both of those at the same time. Not both of those, like that MMA style, the way he doing it, like he damn near taking over that when it come to martial artist people. They don't even be specializing with like how he do, like I'll catch your head down here, put my leg up, put my leg out, stretch your arm out, like the way he be doing it. I ain't even seen too many people doing that, period. Like how he be doing it, like I'll fuck you up close, like period. But then when it come to just straight hands, he got that dummy style. And his natural hand speed is like, man, just period as a fighter. But you ain't even gonna get to the legs yet. Like,
so would you say that and this is going back, this is putting two other people into the mix here. Because for a long time, before Donnie and Scott Adkins, it was always Jackie Chan versus Jet Li. A lot of people wanted to see that. And even though they got to see it in that one movie where it was about the staff and stuff, I forgot the name of that movie. But I mean, people got to see it, and you know, it was kind of tight because they kept going from different styles and stuff. Where Jackie finally brought out, you know, he was doing a tiger style, but then he did a drunken master. But you know, Jet was up here doing his wushu, and then he went to the mantis and all that type of shit.
Right.
I think that fight scene could have been better to give the people. I mean, they was just basically just giving the people a little taste. To give
what it was with that fight scene is they didn't want nobody to lose.
Yeah.
The respect Jackie had at that time, the respect Jet had at that time,
Mm-hmm.
they didn't want nobody to lose because that's how big they was at that time. People would have said, "Oh, that nigga's better."
Right.
And they didn't want to do that to neither one of them niggas, but the movie was long overdue. So they tried to come up with a way where they can inflict hella styles and make it be a tie.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow we be like, it was a tie, but they showed different styles from both of them,
Yeah.
like what they could do. And even Jackie showed drunken in that, so he fought Jet Li in his true form. Like out of all of these new fighters, he was the one that really took that on to another level out of the people that, not the originators, but to this modern day area.
Mm-hmm.
People don't know drunken shit besides Jackie Chan. Not even to this day, like period.
Mm-hmm.
So Jackie Chan did even drunken on the nigga in that motherfucker life. That was classic. That was classic.
Yeah.
Jackie Chan, drunken master against Jet Li, but Jet Li's a monster. Him with that praying mantis and his different styles, because he was more of always the type of fighter that I'm not trying to run away from you, just not hurt you. Jet Li would always fuck you up, even from Lethal Weapon, like period. Ever since Jet Li came in the game, he was fucking people. Whether he was a good guy or not, he was already breaking shit and fucking people up. Throw your head through the fucking window, like period. Whether his attitude wasn't a bad guy or not, but the moves he did, like nigga, back. Jet Li kick you like 4 times in one row, still on you one hard, knock you out. And then he gone. He might be a good guy, but he just fucked you up.
Right.
Period.
And then you got Jackie. He always using the aerial attacks. So he do all type of shit. Jump through this. If you try to hit him or something, like if it's 2 people, he'll jump in between some like little pole or something, kick that dude, hit him. The other dude come out of nowhere. If he try to slide through like he did, and Jackie hurry up and try to steal on him before he can even know what's going on. Always using, like, Rumble in the Bronx was basically his thing where he was really showing, like, when they had that scene and he was fighting in between, like, the pinball machines and shit like that, just showing how he could just use anything to his advantage. Like, you know, so
that was
Jackie
always a hard one, because
just,
Jackie was always so cold, but he wasn't an ass beater. Like, he wasn't aggressive. Like, he wasn't the type of nigga that'd come on the scene. You know, when Jackie walked in, motherfuckers finna get fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
Jackie Chan wasn't never that type of nigga, but he was skilled enough to where if he was that type of nigga, he probably could have fucked people up with the way his surrounding usage was. Mm-hmm. Picking up whatever and just the way he could use it as a weapon, as a this and that, and just move. Mm-hmm. Jackie Chan, if he would have been more ruthless, like, I want to fuck people up like this, like take the whole ladder, spin it around my back, turn around, hit this nigga in the face, like boom.
Yeah.
But he wasn't never that type of person. He would do other tricks and shit with the shit. But if he would have been that, I don't think them other fighters at that time in movies could even do half of the shit Jackie Chan was doing. That wit shit, just in places, I don't even think even the most skilled could do what he was doing. So I know how good. Now, Jackie Chan was one of the best for real, like, period. He was one of the best for real. He just wasn't aggressive. He was more like, look what I could do without hurting you. Mm-hmm. But that still get credit. But it's like, nah, we seen from Jet, like, nah, I'm going to show you, like, in Kiss of the Dragon, like, you know what I'm saying? Nigga, even though he was a good guy, but when he came across the big buff black dude and all that, he punched him right in the front of his neck, like pinpoint accuracy, like to defend at this height against you. Mm-hmm. He punched you right in your neck, blah, right in your neck. Like, that's the kind of moves Jackie won't do. Yeah. Jet Li will show you, blah, right in the motherfucking neck, then blah, blah, blah. Like, you know what I'm saying? Elbows to the head, about 3 of them. Jet Li will show you how I'll fuck somebody up, like, but he's supposed to be the good guy, but he cold to the motherfucker. Like, that's what I always liked about Jet Li. So it was always hard to say who was the best out of both of them. I respect the Forbidden Kingdom, because really, you can never really say. Jet Li was more of a whoop your ass type, different type of dude. Even if he had roles as a nice guy, he still whooped people ass too much. Mm-hmm. Jackie Chan was more of the stunt devil, got known for the amazing things he could do. But we knew if you was into like martial arts and all that, how cold Jackie Chan really was.
Mm-hmm.
He was really one of them. You probably won't see another Jackie Chan doing shit he was doing. Like, period. He was one of those type of people. Like,
there would never be another Jackie, even though he ain't on the level as like where like if you say about like a real actual fighter like Bruce Lee or something. But if you talk about the movie game, the way how he was doing shit and he's actually doing it. It ain't a stunt.
Some of them off the roof stunts. I'm looking at even the martial arts combine everything together just as a package. Only thing is fuck Jackie Chan up is his mentality, like who he is as a person. Like not in real life, he's a cool person, I'm sure. I'm talking about who he is as a person as far as why don't you want to show people how it's the movies, what it would be like to use this to fuck somebody up. Like you keep on running from motherfuckers and doing dope shit, you know what I'm saying? But it's like at the end of the day, do that same dope shit, but fuck people up, like you know what I'm saying?
Only one movie.
Right
there's only one movie I know of where he was actually like a stand-up fighter, where he really wasn't running around too much, and that was a movie called Gorgeous, where he had to fight this dude named Allen, and dude like what it was like his friend or whatever hired Allen, who was like a kickboxer or whatever from America, like the champion, to fight Jackie. So Jackie came out, was just like whatever, fought him, lost the first one. Then they had another fight like at the trash place that he owned, and they were just going at it there. And it wasn't like him using different stuff. It was actually like them going at it for real. But you know, so that was a good fight. It wasn't him running around, jumping off of this and that. And he had a few things where he had to do stuff like this and that just to get away from it because it was too much from him. So, but then after he got his breath and he was coming right back, you know what I'm saying? But like I said, the levels of skills and stuff they do show, like in the movies and stuff, they do actually show. But I'm saying like as far as Donnie Yen and Scott Adkins, if those two was in the movies going at it, that would be. Even if they do it kind of like Forbidden Kingdom, but I want them to be more raw with it. Be more raw. You can make it still where they end up tying, but it has to be raw.
He the only person I think could keep up with Donnie Yen and make it better scene than like Flashpoint. Flashpoint ending scene was dope as a final fight, like period.
So I'll put it like this:
You seen Donnie Yen? He was doing some MMA shit, the same shit I'm talking about, but he was still doing some martial arts because he dope, like he like a Bruce Lee nigga, like period. He was doing that shit in that, but I think they got the ability to top that. Like I feel like
Scott Adkins was to put them to the movies, have Donnie Yen do his Flashpoint type of a character, and Scott Adkins do his Boyka type of a character. Could you imagine how that fight would go?
Donnie Yen and what character?
Donnie Yen on Flashpoint and Scott Adkins as Boyka. Like those two, they characters going at it. That would be a fight.
Yeah. That'd be a bang, and that's what people want to see. And then it's hard to say Boyka lose, but then again, Donnie Yen with that, he's a scrapper.
Because you know, if Donnie Yen trying to do something, you know, Boyka
like that aerial assault. Donnie Yen can do aerial assault too. He can do aerial. I know how. Even like the dude from Flashpoint, he can get up and kick and shit like that. Like if he just stuck with that style, like period, he can kick and do all of that shit. Like Donnie Yen can do that, but when it comes to that, I think Donnie Yen got that. Like it's like Dragon Ball Z. I hate to go there, but Goku and Vegeta at the end of the day, they both be on the same Super Saiyan levels and all that, but Goku got the better mentality of scrapping. Like I know what to take away, what not. Vegeta all power. Like let's go.
Yeah,
it's the same thing. Like when I be looking at it, like Donnie Yen more like the type of dude that's gonna be like, okay, I look at him over Scott Adkins, like he'll be the one like this is what Scott Adkins is good at. The aerial assault, that even combat, like period. But he got these kicks and that ninja shit. I think Donnie Yen would try to go MMA after that, like lock up on this nigga and make it one of these. We could keep tussling, grappling. I think Donnie Yen's smart enough to be doing that shit, like period. And if he still can't even do some of the other shit, but I think he'll switch it all the way up, like with the arm bar, all that shit. Like then Scott Adkins is good on the ground too. But I don't know if you on that level. How Donnie Yen is so cold with that shit. He took that MMA shit to another level with Kung Fu, like period. the way he can catch niggas up on that ground game and all that, you think you fucking with Donnie Yen with that shit? I think if he forced Scott Adkins into that, that's easily Donnie gonna do something, choke you out, do something like period. But if Scott end up staying up and they end up getting into just aerial assault / fights, I still don't know, just because of I just know how Donnie Yen fight. Like that one missed punch could lead into a fucking neck hold, like period.
Right.
And Donnie Yen is just that type of dude, like. But I can't count that out. Like when somebody can just get you like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? No matter what you doing, like period, I can get you in something. Like period.
Yeah.
I can't count that dude out. And then I know when it come down to, even if it come to hand-to-hand combat, he up there. He can hold his own with the best of them. That aerial assault, Scott Adkins, that ninja shit is true to me. I feel like, yeah, with the way his kicks come, like I spent 3 times, looked like it's coming. I stayed in the air, now it's coming. And then I'm going to the ground, I ain't gonna hit you with that. I'm just gonna sweep you to break your ankle or something.
Right.
Wow. Like, period. Now you looking like, damn, that nigga faked me out not once, twice. I knew it was coming, then hit me in my ankles and fucked my shit up. Like,
damn.
You gotta respect that ninja shit. Like, period. Like, that's a good fight. That's one that need to happen to me. I don't know how they're gonna put both of them in the movie to at least display what they can really do. I don't know how they're gonna do it, but Scott Adkins and not Tony Jaa, I gotta see that too, but Scott Adkins and Donnie Yen, they need to do something.
Right.
That's looking like that total ninja style with that Bruce Lee type of.
That'll probably be, if depending, you know, like some people watch stuff for storylines and stuff. I mean, storyline gotta be cool. Even if it just has to be cool. It don't have to be a good storyline, because that fight alone is gonna be legendary on film. And don't let it happen in real life. Don't let them two actually be beefing on some real life stuff and actually meet up and fight for. Ooh, I wouldn't even like that. Would be some stuff, because this ain't using no movie shit. Like, you know, this is some I'm mad at you, you mad at me. We gonna go for real in real life. Ooh, that would be a fight to see. That would have to be.
You only got 3 seconds left to bet. Scott Adkins about to fight Donnie Yen in real life in a real fist fight. You got 3 seconds left to bet. Fight starts. It's over with. 1, 2. Who you got?
I might have to say
3.
Donnie. I might have to say Donnie.
Donnie Yen, huh?
Say Donnie.
Donnie Yen, huh?
I might have to say him, because, like I said, in a real fist fight, and it's like I said, movie stuff is cool because you can display it any way you want to. But in real life, if they was really mad at each other, no matter what it could be, one could owe the other one money, you know, whatever it could be. A real fist fight. Like I said, they might as well just say, forget that, y'all go into a ring and make it a pay-per-view match. And I bet it ain't gonna be like no Floyd.
Think Donnie the new Bruce?
The new Bruce?
Since Bruce, who the closest? Since Bruce, who the closest? For real, like
he will be close. He will be close just because he has that training now. So that's the thing.
Who will be before him? The next, or the closest, not the next Bruce, but the closest to the next Bruce. Who, after all this body of work, all these dudes put in and everything, other people who ain't even main characters, they be on the side in the movies all the time. Like, period. Who would you say the closest to the next Bruce you seen?
That's hard, because the reason why I would say it's hard because nobody else is really. There's been people trying to take that title, but nobody's really came close.
Then you gotta think about martial arts movies. In martial arts movies, Donnie Yen has been in some shit. I'm talking about. That's cool. Donnie Yen has been in some shit. I'm talking about from the old school. They was wearing them ponytails, like.
Yeah. It's like everybody, even Bruce was into that.
Real Chinaman type of shit. Like, nigga, he represent for his country, period, outside of America. Like, nigga, Donnie Yen was in this country in movies. Like, nigga, you know what I'm saying? He was already doing that. Nigga, in America, his movies, as far as the closest to Bruce Lee, how Donnie Yen came to America, his martial arts movies, like, period, even in America. All of his shit is hits, like, period. I don't even think you've seen a Donnie Yen movie where it wasn't action packed in the motherfucker. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I can't recall one. Maybe I'm slipping, but I don't recall one. Same thing now with like Tony Jaa, but I think he had a couple roles. He more on the movie star side of things.
Yeah.
Tony Jaa had a couple of roles that I felt like was just
flopped on
just movies.
3 to me. Flopped on that one because it wasn't like, I mean, the first one, the second one was good, but then they came out with the third one, making it seem like it was going to be good, and it wasn't as good. Like, I don't know if it was the story or whatever. I don't know what they was trying to do with that, but it just wasn't. It wasn't up to par with the other ones. Because when you looked at Ong-Bak 1, action pack, he jumping over cars, doing all that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Scott Adkins has been in movies since back in the day too.
Yep, always portraying the bad guy that nobody really knew about, but he was there.
Dope ass fighter.
Mm-hmm.
And he was always like one of those 90s martial artists. But he was I think though, he was an American from the beginning. He never was just out the country, you know. Like, he was an American martial art movie maker, like, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Kind of like a Jean-Claude Van Damme, but Van Damme was bigger than him, but he was on that same path to trying to be something like that, but probably had more skills, but still trying to be down that path, like, period. Mm-hmm. He was already in America, so Atkins running with his skill set, now he's landing different gigs and different movies with different people who want to work with him. Like, what's up with old boy? Like, period. What up with old dude? Like, we want him and this and that and this and that. But the roles ain't big, but you and all this shit. Like, period.
Yeah.
It gets to the point. His style got him with,
I think his biggest role was Boyka's or his most.
No, it is.
His most.
No, that's his biggest
his
role,
most
period.
noticed one.
That's his biggest role of his career.
Because he was in, what's called it, who was he fighting?
Like, if nobody don't know his real name, they might be like, what character did he play? Then you might be like, nigga, Boyka. They might be up there like, oh, you talking about dude. Yeah. Like, you can say that with Boyka. Like, nigga, I don't know his real name is Scott Adkins. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, who you talking about? What's the nigga name in the movie? Nigga, Boyka or something. They might be like, oh, I know who you talking about. Mm-hmm. Other movies, I ain't gonna say not so much. Not so much you can just do that. Like, you know what I mean? Can't just do that. That's his biggest role, just period. And everybody, even on the internet, just going on YouTube looking at the shit. Style-wise, though, you put a Scott Adkins with that Donnie Yen, you got a motherfucker, you got a match. Like, I wish sometimes they felt like MMA fighters where they can get in the cage and go for real. Man. Like, fuck it, go for real, like, and just dedicate it to the craft, nothing personal. Mm-hmm. Go for real. Donnie Yen versus Scott Adkins, like, whoo, that's a hell of a fucking fight.
That'd be legendary for real. Out of all the fights that you would know about, forget Conor McGregor versus anybody in the MMA, even Floyd, forget all that. Donnie Yen versus Scott Adkins. If people wouldn't even know it, but you'd probably put it like this: Ip Man versus Boyka. Because they know if you say Ip Man, like, that's Donnie Yen. And dude that was doing all that, yeah, that was Donnie Yen. Oh, shit. That nigga voices Boyka? Shit. And if people actually didn't know for real, they actually looked at both of their stuff, all the stuff they was doing, they know that'll be a hell of a bang. They know that'll be a hell of a bang.
And that's a hell of a bang. And the only thing that make it scary with Tony Jaa, and all due respect to Tony, because we ain't saying his name as much, only thing that would make it even better is that, because you got to watch out for him with that breaking bones shit. Mm-hmm. Don't get me wrong. Donnie Yen to catch you slipping, throwing the wrong shit. You think we scrapping, boom, boom, boom. Next thing you know, he turned into a grappling fest, like, period. Donnie Yen got that shit down packed, but you don't want Tony Jaa to catch your shit.
Right.
If he catch your shit on something, that's one thing I got to give him, because if he released full motherfucking full form of his craft, like, no holding back, we fighting for real, like, I got your arm like that, your head down there. He a scary ass fucking fighter too. Woo, breaking them bones.
Mm-hmm. But see him, okay, so I'll put
and he got an aerial assault.
I'll put this.
And he got an aerial assault.
Him versus Scott Adkins on air attacks.
On what?
On air attacks. Straight up, just in the air doing shit, coming at.
That's a dope fight. That's a dope fight. I gotta think about that because shit, Tony Jaa is dope as fuck in the air. I can't even front.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really know who got the most hops. After what I seen Tony Jaa do with shit up in the air, I gotta really think of have I seen Scott Adkins kick that high.
I haven't seen him do it because see what I seen Tony did. He jumped, he did the kick, but then he also did the knee with somebody with like two people standing on somebody, and then somebody was sitting on top of him holding the thing out. He was actually doing that where he's jumping, doing a backflip, kicking it out of dude's hand, like real life, just demonstration type shit.
And
like this is what I'm gonna do.
And then his free run scenes, like just running from people just because he's just trying to.
Mm-hmm.
The stuff he clears, I seen them. They slow it down. I done seen them jump over cars. And I'm talking about like a car parked sideways, and it's the whole car, not the hood, the front, the whole top.
Mm-hmm.
Jump over a whole top of a car with his legs out, like. Oh, you was not clearing shit like that, and it's the real him.
Mm-hmm.
Woo! Like nigga, you that athletic where you gonna run and jump over a whole car sideways over the top of it with your legs out, like
Mm-hmm.
and clear it. I ain't saying barely make it, clear it.
Yep.
Man, that's some different type of athleticism. I don't be sleeping on that shit. Like you doing that. I seen Tony Jaa some of his stunts he be doing with even in that protector or what was that too? When all of them people was in that warehouse.
Yeah.
Man, he showed so much shit. Running up walls, doing backwards and shit. Like he showed so much shit in that scene if you really just pay attention. Hey man, his aerial assault though, I went into that, but his aerial assault, he a nigga that jump off shit, climb shit, do shit. He could do all that shit too. But that damn breaking bone shit, like that's just on some head up, like boom, boom. He automatically knees and elbows. Yeah. Back. You throw the wrong shit, he know how to rub your shit and make your pressure points go into your. He be doing all that type of shit. Boom. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this that Thailand shit. See, this is that real, what he displaying is that real Muay Thai. See, that's one thing that he got that over all of them. He got that over Donnie Yen. He got that over motherfucker Scott Adkins. He got that real Muay Thai, what the culture is. Mm-hmm. And how we gonna mix this up. He got that over them to where they can't beat him at his own game. I can say that.
Yeah.
If it came down to y'all trying to beat him at his own game, he could fuck y'all up.
Right.
Y'all gonna have to figure out something around that. And to be honest, that's a very fucking hard task.
So let's put the black dudes against each other. Michael J. White versus Lateef Crowder.
Well, we talking movies or real life or both slashed?
We could say both slashed.
I would say martial arts skills. I would say Lateef, but Michael J. White always seemed like the type that got more of the knowledge. Like, he might not be the biggest, because right now, if you ask me, I think Wesley Snipes is better than Michael J. White. When it comes to just pure martial arts and the understanding of the fight game, like period as a whole, I think Wesley Snipes naturally is better than Michael J. White, but I know Michael J. White portrays with that knowledge to be a kung fu master or something, like period. I really feel like if he got out there against most of the dudes we named, they're beating his ass, like period. He could be buffing out that you are jacks. Like, you know what I mean? Black dude, arms, you might fuck somebody up with your fist. Like, even just in real life. I know he got kicks and all that shit too, but compared to them niggas, if you fought them, you ain't gonna have nothing but them fists.
This
like,
is the thing that kind of threw me off, because this is what he actually said. He was in a interview, and they was talking about Bruce Lee. He said he can beat Bruce Lee because of his mass or whatever. I'm thinking like, Bruce? Nah.
He's just another fighter putting himself to the test.
Right.
Michael J. White can't fuck with no Bruce Lee. And it ain't about the body size or the mass or just not even the reputation. Like, I know how he understand the fight game. He studied martial arts and shit. I know he understand, but it's a lot of fighters that think that he do not understand Because fans always sometimes be the most realist. When you don't do it and you just speculate, like, we be the realest. Like, nigga, I know who the best is. Like, because I'd be different if I was doing it with the nigga. I'd be kind of throwing salt in the game. Like, hey, he ain't the only one that did that in the second round with 2 minutes left to go. Like, if I was in the sport, I might talk like that. You know what I mean? But I ain't in the sport, so I'm just looking at it like at the fight game, I'm giving the credit to the best who's doing it.
Right.
And at that time, when Bruce Lee was doing what he was doing, I don't see Michael J. White being no fucking threat. You was examples in movies, not even you, but when he fought Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, that was based on real shit. I mean, it was just because we were so young when that shit was really out there. We wasn't. I can only imagine the people who was older at that time that could understand the shit Bruce was when he was alive, the shit he was out there teaching on TV, like this, and this is what you do when you, the real Bruce Lee, really alive though, like period, in front of TV and stuff, telling people like, look, and only in this centimeter will this apple fall if we're trying to teach you in all kind of ways, like to understand the process of what he doing, like that real Bruce Lee in real life. I don't think Michael J. White is beaten.
Nah.
I don't care about stature. You can fool some people who don't know the martial arts game, or they don't even give a fuck about Bruce Lee or don't even know him, but you ain't fucking with no Bruce Lee because there's niggas who's better than you now, and they not fucking with Bruce Lee, period.
But like I said, him versus...
Y'all movies might make it look like it, but trust me, the real martial arts knowledge and science, if it came down to a real fight, half the shit he was doing in his movies, he could do in real life. Everything he was fucking niggas up with in the movies, he could fuck them up with in real life.
Yeah.
Shit gets advanced and shit, so niggas can do way more and more creativity.
And the bad thing was he had to slow down for the camera, so the camera couldn't pick the shit up if he didn't slow down. So you talk about a motherfucker who hit you, you ain't seeing shit coming. Like as soon as you step up to fight him, he just knock your ass out. It ain't nothing you can do. Even Jackie Chan got hit and had his nose broken by Bruce Lee before. He's like, nah. It was on some accident shit where they doing some stunt devil shit, but he got hit and his nose was bleeding and shit. He up there like, Bruce too much, man.
Nah, they ain't mess. Bruce the king.